All right, we'll jump into the dashboard here. You can see you can pick different time frames depending on how you want your date ranges to be. And we'll slide down here to this primary sand key is related to the DLP violations, the data loss prevention rules that are inside of the system. And you can see, we look at where the origination came from, where the source of the data came from, all the way through to which of the rules were fired. You can see several different types here. We'll dig into those here in just a little bit. And then you can see the overall response and disposition. You're able to drive right into it and set these dispositions in bulk if necessary. And this is how an analyst may use the tool. Then as far as the deployment, it basically is a Chrome extension. So I'd say the majority of people just use the Chrome extension, but so it'll run on basically any Chromium browser. So that's the majority of the browsers out there these days. However, if you're using something like local, like Claude Code or something, you may want an agent version as well, so you can pick up what is actually happening inside of the local programs. So if we slide over to the policies, these policies basically are all the different known AI websites that IT can either define to allow or not allow, or monitor. So allow allows it straight through, monitor allows for logging, and then there's a block capability as well. And then from there, we decided, the DLP rules may be good for all locations or just specific ones. So you can either make them apply just to the specific rules or specific sites or all the sites that the browser hits. Here you can see the DLP rules themselves, the types of regulations that they may be aligned to, the activity or action, whether you want to log it, prompt for it, or block it. And so we usually start it in logging only mode just so that we don't interact with anyone inappropriately before we tune everything. You can see you can exclude domains. So if someone has a business requirement to exclude a domain, you can do that. Equally, these regex keys, you can copy the regex and tweak those rules should it need to be bespoke to your organization. You can see down here I have a setup for a prompt for social security numbers with dashes. So if I go over to ChatGPT and basically type in a social security number, you can see it instantly gets blocked. This is again in prompt mode. I can see what the violation is, and if I just block and remove, then you can see it just wiped it from the screen. If I try this again, then you can see that there's an override setting, and with the override setting, I'm able to require a disposition for the user for them to articulate to on this ticket why they wanted to override the policy, and then you can see it goes right on through. Back over to the UI, so there is quite a few different integrations. There's webhooks, so should there be a violation that you wanted to automatically send off to a webhook, you can certainly do that here. And you can see there's multiple different types of webhook formats as well to make it as easy to integrate as possible. And then if we jump over to the connectors, you can see we have 12 different connectors in this instance. And so should you need to connect out to something like Splunk or Arctic Wolf or ServiceNow, you can see the list. You're able to basically populate out to these connectors to bring them into your SIM or things of that nature. Full reporting capability. I find a lot of times tools in POCs have great user interfaces, but a good deliverable is highly valued by prospects and customers, and so We have it coming out in a couple different formats. You can see here that so these are things that if you were to run a free trial, these are the types of reports that you'd get out of it. Bring up this other PowerPoint as well. So depending on if you're developing or delivering to an executive briefing, or if you're more sending a static report, either of those are easily available there for you. So that's Shield. Reach out for your complimentary POC and let us help you mitigate the risks of shadow AI.